What's up everybody, it's Paul from BoostedFilms, and in this video we're going to install this OEM style dash cam in this 2024 Toyota GR Corolla. So before we get into the unboxing of this item, just want to say that this one is the Model A. There are two different kind of versions you could get for your particular Corolla, but if yours looks like mine, then you know you should have the right one, as in Model A, and this should work on non-GR Corollas as well. This right now is compatible for the 2023 to 2025s. And also just being upfront that this was a free product that was sent to me. And as we go through the unboxing of all this, the good news is really for tools and stuff, you don't really need any additional tools. They provide you with a trim removal tool that can be helpful, and that's about all you should need to do this job. Now this is a front and rear camera setup. You can get it with just the front, of course, and that's nice in the front because it is kind of this OEM direct replacement part. It does come with a 128 gigabyte SD card. This is what I like to call a jumper cable. This is what kind of powers our dash cam, so you don't have to do any wiring. You just gotta do some plugging in. And this is the plastic piece, you know, that's going to replace the OEM piece. It looks a lot like OEM, except it has the dash cam built in. And of course, it's pretty easy to install, and we're gonna walk through that in a little bit. And finally, for this kit that I have, it has a rear camera as well. This is totally optional. If you don't wanna get the rear cam, you don't have to. So now when it comes to the install, we're going to take a look at our OEM piece we got in here. You can see obviously it kind of wraps around our rear view mirror, and we need to remove this old plastic piece and install their new one. So I'm going to move my mirror a bit just to get it out of the way. And then one of the first things we're going to do is pull down on this smaller piece that goes kind of just above the rear view mirror piece here. And if you pull from the top, you should be able to kind of get it to pull down, and then it pops out, and then you can slide it out. You can see it's got those little protruding points where it slides in, so that piece pulls out. That's the smaller portion of that. And now this larger portion, I'm going to get my fingers up towards the top and push it down towards the bottom, and you can hear it kind of snap free on each side. As I push down each side, you do got to give it a little bit of force to kind of push it fully free. And here's a tight shot on the side here where you can see kind of where these slid into. There's two different spots that it kind of really needs to slide into that we're going to go look at again, of course, when we reinstall this, or install the new one, I should say. And we got our plug on the other side too, where we're going to plug in our jumper wire connection. Speaking of that jumper wire, that's again what makes it really nice with this kit, is we just got a couple plugins to power this dash cam. So this wire just kind of connects in to an OEM spot, and then it'll power our dash cam for us. So now we're going to unplug this plug-in. There should be a spot towards the bottom where you need to squeeze this piece that holds the clip in. If you squeeze it and then pull, it should pull out. And once that's out of the way, we can grab our jumper wire. It's going to really only go in one way, so you should be able to figure it out which way you want to connect it. Connect either end first. You should be able to plug it in and hear it snap. And now I'm just going to wrap the wire around the mirror a little bit. There's more than one way to do this, but for me it did work out okay to kind of wrap it around, because there's a little bit extra length, of course, in this wire, since we're adding some length here. But now I'm just going to bend it over, line it up, and then push it in place. And again, once you push it all the way in place, you should hear it snap or click in. Now, I always like to compare the old to the new, so you can see this looks like the right setup. This is the right piece we need. The OEM piece is on the left. Our new one with the dash cam is on the right. You can see those red clips kind of where it needs to slide in place. All our three cables here, one for the rear cam, one for the power, and this other one for the GPS, which is optional, and we're not going to be using that one in this video. And now is the time to just pop in your SD card if you haven't already. So the provided SD card should just be able to push into this SD card slot. And once we have that SD card slid in all the way, we are pretty much ready to go to install this new piece. We're going to have all the wires just kind of run through that larger hole first for this when we do it, just so they're kind of out of the way. And so we know they're not keeping us from sliding up where we need to be. But before we try to slide this in place, we're going to plug in our power wire. And if you wanted to, once it's plugged in, you could do a test right away with the dash cam to make sure it does turn on and work. I'm going to wait and do that though a little bit after I get this slid up in place. Sliding it in place can be a little bit tricky. I did try this a couple times before I was sure I had it kind of the way I wanted it. You need to move some of the wires or keep the wires out of the way. Make sure those wires aren't kind of being squished in there and not allowing you to push this all the way up against the windshield. So be mindful of the wires in there. Again, try to mostly just get them out of your way and then tuck them in later is my best advice. So this was my first attempt. I felt like it was still a little bit loose up at the top when I tried getting it on this first time. So again, if you feel like you have an issue or it doesn't seem like it's going on right, you can just slide this back down, of course. So that's what I ended up doing. I just slide it back off so I can double check things. And what I ended up doing is putting my fingers in here to feel where those protruding kind of red clips were. And then I knew where those needed to line up. So I kind of just tried to have those lined up right where they needed to go in, except a little bit further down, of course, and then pushed it right up against the windshield when I knew I had it lined up, and then slid it upward. And then again, you should kind of hear it click in place. So hopefully I described it the best I could there. Obviously not the easiest thing to show on video, but you should be able to slide it in, and if it holds up there in place, it should be pretty good to go. And just a final shot of what it looked like, a closer up shot, I should say, of what it looked like when it's installed. You can see it's not directly on the windshield in all spots, especially closer towards the top of the windshield. But that OEM piece also was had a little bit of a gap up there too, but it looks pretty good and looks like it should. So now I want to do a quick test, honestly. So I'm going to take this cover off the lens. You could have did that before as well if you wanted to. But then I'm going to just turn the key on and make sure that this light is blinking, just so I know it's got power and that you know that it's working before we put everything back together or run any more wires. So I can see the lights blinking, and it's also going to say start recording or something like that, so you know that it's recording.
Start recording.
So I like to do that quick test. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I feel like it's a good time to test it before you get too far putting everything back together. But now you can see we got a little bit of a mess of wires here that we need to kind of sort through. Again, you can move your mirror around however you need to get your the most access in here to move these cables, and kind of now you can just tuck them up in there, get them out of the way as best you can. I am installing the rear dash cam, so I'm going to leave that rear dash cam wire kind of up towards the windshield here so I can access it in a little bit. And then all the other wires I just kind of want to get tucked up in here so they're out of the way and not visible. And once those wires are tucked in, we can get this other smaller piece in place. Again, the protruding parts where you can see that it is going to need to slide in. You're going to line those up with the two holes kind of on the bottom and then tilt it up in place. And once you tilt it up in place, it'll slide down a little bit, and then you should just be able to push it in and hear it pop in. Again, if it's too hard to push in, you might want to make sure that it isn't catching on any of the wires that you tucked in there. Try to make sure those wires are not holding it up. I felt like they were holding it up on one side on mine a little bit, but it was just fine. But I did just take the cover off to double check and make sure there was enough room for it to slide in place and pop in. So now it's looking a lot better. You can see that tag. I could have took that tag right off that wire, I suppose. You can see that white in there a little bit, but you're not going to see that once the mirrors move back in place. Plus, you could just tuck it out of the way a little bit more. So that's what it should look like once everything's back in place. But now I'm going to move on to the rear camera, since the rear camera did come with this, and we're going to plug that power wire in as well right away. It does have a protruding part on it. It lines up and only goes in one way. There's also a note on that to make sure you don't film upside down, and we'll get to that when we get towards the back part of putting it on the hatch. So now I'm plugging in that power wire that should just, again, line up and then push in place. And then we're going to tuck it up above our headliner a bit. It did tuck into the headliner pretty easily, honestly. You can use, again, that same tool that they gave you for kind of removing trim pieces. You can use that to help you push things in place since it's just rubber. But you're better off using like this plastic piece probably than something like a regular screwdriver, just because it's not going to be as sharp and pointy. But we're going to tuck that up in under a headliner and work our way from the power source over to the side of this kind of pillar here. And of course, these do have the side curtain pillar airbags and stuff like that. So I don't want to mess around too much over there. I want to make sure it's kind of out of the way so it's not shooting a cable or anything if your airbag went off either. So we're doing the best we can to kind of tuck it We're going to anyway. And the shot right now is showing what it looked like beforehand. I'd probably try to do a little better than this, get it up and out of the way. So what I ended up doing was moving that trim piece. I pried the trim piece out a little bit, and then I tuck in the wire behind the trim piece. You're looking at a shot of the headliner first as I go down, and then it cuts. Now you can see to where I cleaned up the wire. You can't hardly see it at all, but I tucked it up in the headliner and then behind that trim piece. And now you can see a little bit poking out right there of that wire. And then I run down between that rubber trim, the rubber door trim on the side is where I run it. There's more than one way to do this. You can run this however you want. If you don't actually care how it looks, you can just kind of lay it down and run it to the back of your car if you don't want to kind of hide it like I'm doing here. But here you can see how far I am so far, and I'm going to keep working my way down through this rubber door trim here. Speaking of trim pieces, this one on the lower right here, there's a nut back here that we're going to remove, and then we're going to keep tucking the wire down as you can see where it is currently. I'm giving you that shot early to explain what I'm doing here is I removed that nut already, and then I'm running this wire kind of tucking it behind that trim piece. You could, of course, just pull that trim piece out all the way if you wanted to, but I found I didn't really need to, just to kind of hide the wire behind it. And then again, just tucking the wire in the door panel here. More than one way they do this, and honestly, if you have a better way, please let me know, because some of this stuff I know gets a bit tricky as far as running wires. So if you've done this on your car, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. So we're going to move on to the back seat. Of course, we want to make sure we run this not in front of our seatbelt. We don't want to get tangled in the seatbelt at all. So we're going to run it behind that in this case, and then continue to tuck the wire underneath our plastic trim pieces and then up towards the rear seat. In this case, this is just the route I went. Again, it seemed to tuck in pretty easy kind of underneath the seat, and then folded the seat down and ran it right to the back. Now we're going to pop our hatch, so we got some easier access to the back here. You can see how far the wire was ran. I'm going to run the wire kind of above that part that, that hides all your stuff in your trunk. We're going to get it up a bit higher to work with here. And now it comes to the point where I'm going to do a little bit more testing and make sure everything works, plug it in, make sure it has power, and then also just actually take a look. You can get a preview of this now, or once you have the app and everything set up on your phone, you can go to your phone and see what the view is like from this camera. So just like the front, we're going to pull that protective lens sticker off. Clean up the glass, make sure it's not too dirty or anything before you're going to stick this on. And of course, I made sure I wasn't putting it on upside down, but then I did my best to just pretty much line this up with what was as close to the center as I thought it would be, and I wanted it as close to the top as I could as well. In my case, I just thought it'd be best to keep it out of driver's view as best I could, so I put it all the way up towards the top, and then as close to the center as I could get it, and then just stuck it in place. I really wish they gave you something else to hold this wire out of the way, honestly. You could use the double-sided tape and just unstick one side of it and then stick this wire up. There's other things you could buy to kind of just stick this wire out of the way, but if this wire bothers you dangling down, definitely look into something that is sticky, that maybe has a clip on it, that can just stick to the rear glass and kind of hold it out of your way. But I also did tuck it into this trim piece, of course, as you can see on the side as well, just to keep it from dangling around too much. And once it was installed and I put the hatch down, close it up, you can see I had the camera pointed way too high. This is on a swivel, of course, though, so I could just swivel it and point it down to where I wanted it. So we'll take a look at setting up the app within your smartphone, and I recommend you look at the user's manual for this. They have some directions in case things have changed since I made the video, but right now you kind of need to download the Skycamm app. And then you need to connect to the Wi-Fi signal that this will be giving off once you have it turned on. And then there's a basic password that is included. It's typically just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for these unless someone changes it. And once you're connected to that Wi-Fi, you should be able to select your camera and then access your camera for not only just like a live preview of what it's currently recording, but you can also adjust all your camera settings within here. You can decide how long the clips are that you record. You can decide if it records any sound at all. You can adjust the volume, the speaker volume of when it says that it started recording. There's a bunch of different settings in here that you can certainly play around with and adjust to what you see fit. And this is where you can go to review footage that was recorded as well, and then you can download it directly to your phone within the app. It does take a little bit longer to download the 4K resolution files. Just a forewarning, it take a little bit. You got to be a bit patient for that if you want to do it through the app. But also, since there is the SD card just on the side of this, you could just pop out the SD card and plug it into your computer and copy files that way as well, if you prefer to do that to transfer them if you need to. So that's about it. That's most everything I had for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you think I could have done anything better, or if there was a different way of doing something, or if I skipped a step, go ahead, leave a comment section down below. Let everyone know. And I'm certainly going to give you guys this test footage too, that with the car. I'm going to show some different scenarios here, night driving, day driving, show you the front camera, show you the rear camera, just to give you an idea of what the footage looks like directly taken off the camera. I also should have a discount code. Should you decide that you want to buy this, there's a discount code that you can utilize, should at least be in the comments of this video, if nothing else, that could give you a discount on this product if you did want to buy it for your car. But that's about it for this video, guys. As always, this is Paul from Boosted Films saying thanks so much for watching. I just want to say that domestic violence is never okay. If you or someone you know is experiencing issues with a partner and doesn't feel safe, please visit the website thehotline.org or call 1-800-799-SAFE.